Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Rips Report. I'm your host, Levi Freeman, with Eastland County Today. And we just want to thank first our sponsors of Dental Excellence of Eastland. They can take care of just about any dental need that you can think of, crowns, cavities. I use Invisalign with them. They've been wonderful to work with. And then I also want to shout out our RAM Incorporated sponsor here in Cisco, Texas, celebrating 35 years of parts manufacturing. They do a wonderful job. And go check out our interview with both of our sponsors. We have that in our back catalog on YouTube. So the link is in the description below. We are in Cisco, Texas at Kimbrough-Jacobs Funeral Home with their owner and funeral director, Clay Jacobs. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for letting me be here. Or thank you for coming to my place, actually.
Yes. It's a very welcoming and inviting spot, and we've seen you've done some renovations since the last time I've been here personally, and looks absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
And well, let's start off with just getting to know a little bit about yourself personally.
All right. This could take a little bit, but so
however long you want.
So I'll kind of start where I'm at now. I've been in the funeral business for a little over 10 years. But prior to that, I was with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 22 years. I worked my way up through the rank of captain. Was actually supervising the intake department when I retired in 2015. Most people think that's a strange transition going from prison to funeral directing, but there is a story behind that. Had to do with when my mom passed. Other than that, other than career, I've with the funeral business, I've worked in Abilene in the Merkel area. Got the opportunity to buy my own funeral home in Baird back in 2019, and then got to be friends with Mr. Kimbrough, and that just led to me buying this place when he retired. So beyond that, beyond career, I do Christian country music. I traveled for about 9 years while I worked with the prison system, going to churches, preaching and singing. My wife, Danny, she's a dental hygienist in Abilene and also helps me with the funeral home. And then we have a 30-year-old daughter, Rachel, her husband, Gilbert, and our 3-year-old granddaughter, Ellie Jo, who live in Liberty Hill. So that takes up most of our time away from here. Every opportunity we get to go visit them, we do that. Beyond that, I've had a lot of past careers, radio, newspaper, things like that I did prior to being in these businesses. So,
yes. Wow. So, seems like, yes, you have a rich and varied experience.
Done a lot in 57 years, I guess you could say.
Well, that's wonderful. Yes. Wonderful to see, and now bringing all that experience, here and into funeral home business and keeping things, that Christian background is wonderful and must give people a lot of comfort. What do you like most about working here at the home?
I think probably more than anything is being the owner and being able to make decisions and take care of families the way I want to. I've worked in corporate funeral homes where there were the rules you had to follow, and the certain way they wanted things done, and being able to own it and talk to families and handle things that I might not normally be able to handle in that other situation. Make decisions and help them out the best I can, and honor their loved one in the best way possible. So
yes. Having that freedom is
exactly
is very important, and I know exactly where you're coming from. Could you give us just a little brief history of the funeral home here?
This funeral home, and this is what I got from Mr. Kimbrough and kind of some of the studying I've done. It was built in 1920, actually, as a house. And most people know this. Whenever I say Kimbrough-Jacobs Funeral Home, they're like, it's the big green 2-story house, on 9th Street. So they know it, but it was originally built as a house. Became a funeral home in 1938, and it's been through several different names. I have them out on the wall in the hallway. I don't know every one of those transitions, but Mr. Kimbrough took it over, I believe, right around 1972, if I'm not mistaken, and he owned it up until I took over in 2022. So he had it for quite a while. It was big shoes to fill coming in. But yeah, it's been through quite a few transitions. Some of the things they've told me about, like there used to be a planter in the entryway. I sit here and think, how could I work around that? As,
Right.
doing a funeral. But it's been through a lot of transitions. I know the building's been several different colors over the years. But it's just an amazing place. I mean, as you walk around, you can see a lot of the history, see the architecture of it. It's pretty amazing, and But again, funeral home since 1938 up till now, and it's served a lot of families over the years. So
yeah, it really is a beautiful building, great architecture, and with the renovations that you've made inside, just kind of give it a little bit of update on the inside and make everything on the up and up.
Sure.
How do you like to help families personalize their service and really get to honor and reflect on their loved one?
I think the most important thing in doing that, sitting down with families and just trying your best to find out more about that person. Unfortunately, when we bring families in, we don't always know that person, and and I like to ask questions and find out more about them. I've always said you can't take an obituary, 3 or 4 paragraphs and sum up someone's life. So I like to talk to the families and find out more about that person and their likes, their hobbies, things like that. And from that you can even if it's in their handout, just to personalize it, put something they liked on there. Had a situation here a while back where the person was really into motorcycles. I'm like, let's bring their motorcycle in, they chose not to do that, but I've had services where we've done that, and just something that's personal to them and try to do as much as we can to reflect their life, because not everyone that even comes to that service knows everything about them. So but,
so you can bring in artifacts if you're willing, to make it feel kind of like their home for a while.
Right, exactly. Yes.
How would you say your business here contributes to your broader community here and around in Cisco and maybe the larger community?
Sure.
Out of just providing this funeral services.
In funeral service, I mean, we, of course, we serve not only Cisco, we serve the surrounding area, but something we've tried to do is get really involved with the community as much as we can, whether it be Chamber of Commerce, trying to support Cisco Strong, things like that, the different organizations. We try to, anytime there's a sponsorship, especially something that helps the youth, something like that, we try to get involved with that and sponsor those things as much as we can. And, that's name recognition outside of this place, but it's also, giving back to the community, which I think is important. We try to do that here in Baird as well with both of our places. So
Awesome. Yeah. Cisco Strong is a wonderful organization. They've done some, very outward public projects, recently, and Cisco's grown tremendously through their work, especially past few years with those projects. Now, are there any challenges or misconceptions that you deal with maybe on a consistent basis, or just in the overall funeral home business as a whole?
That's a tough one. So,
not always easy.
Right. Yeah. Not always easy to answer, but I would say challenges. I'm just lost on this one. I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. We can come back to it if you'd like.
Yeah. So some of the misconceptions, I mean, and just things that I would tell people, as far as funerals go. A lot of times I'll have veterans families come in and they have the conception that the VA is going to pay for that entire funeral. That's not the case necessarily.
Okay.
And I have to clear those things up with them. I don't know if that's the type of thing you're looking for, but
no,
but it is important to me. I mean that they know that this is the way it's going to be.
Right.
And that's hard for them to come in and think this is taken care of, and I have to explain to them, and help them go through those steps to get things taken care of.
Okay.
So that would probably be one thing that I deal with quite frequently, that they just have that idea in their mind,
Well, that works. That's a challenge in, having to break some unfortunate news that the VA doesn't cover that.
Right.
So if you're out there listening and you
and if you have questions about that, feel free to call me and ask about that, because I'll walk through that with them.
Okay.
It's easier ahead of time than when the time comes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for clearing that up. Now, was there a unique or very special service that you got to be a part of and plan for and do the work with? Talk a little bit about that service and really what made it special and memorable for you.
Um, this is probably, it was, and not even at this funeral home, but whenever I was early in my career, I got to be a part of. It was the lady wanted a sunset service, and it was pretty neat because he was an Air Force veteran and he was being buried at Trent, right by Dyess Air Force Base.
Okay.
So I mean, there were a lot of working parts to it. We got him out there. We actually moved his casket onto a horse-drawn carriage, and
Wow.
then I was able to walk that in. Walk the horse and the carriage in to the cemetery. We did the service, and then right as we were getting ready to end, a B-1 flew over. Of course, the lady looked at me. She goes, "Did you plan that?" I said, "I wish I could say yes," but
Wow.
it was really neat to and just a special service because all the parts of it and being able to give her everything she wanted.
Wow. Yeah.
Excuse me.
And
I'm
then
sorry.
some. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Bless you. And
Thank you.
yeah, that's make you feel really,
Yes.
rewarding in your career path when you're able to make those wishes, come true through a T and really
Yes.
honor them in the way that they want to be honored. And doing it for a veteran
Right.
is
And I
special.
would say any veteran service. I mean, those are always special, too. And you get out in a cemetery and you hear taps played and, see that flag presented and folded. It's always special there. And every service we do. I mean, I've seen so many to where, God just showed up, and it was pretty amazing, that to see, whether it's through music or something like that, to see families just touched in a special way through a service being done. So.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful to see. Anything else you would like people to know about or mention?
We've just been blessed to be part of Cisco and Baird. I mean, that's we have come into these communities. I had big shoes to fill both places. When a man owns a funeral home for 50 years and you're stepping in to take over, it's a little scary.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And fortunately with Mr. Kimbrough, I'd filled in for him a few times, so people were kind of getting to know me and know who I was. But as I stepped into this, the community was so welcoming and thankful that we were taking over, and it's been a blessing. I mean, we've been here almost 3 years now, and January will be 3 years, and they've just been welcoming and so good to me and my family, and we just are thankful for that and thankful for the families we've been able to serve. So
Yeah,
that would be it. So
yeah. There's a great community here, great people, and I can't say I haven't spent a lot of time in Bear, but I imagine it's a wonderful people.
it is. Yes.
And but we can't, finish up Rip's report without asking a few fun questions inspired by old Rip, the legendary horned toad over in Eastland.
Which I've warned him I know a little about. So
Yeah, luckily we won't be quizzing you
Right,
on,
okay.
how many years did old Rip stay in the Eastland Cornerstone? That is not our
Yes,
question today.
Yes.
We're gonna do our tried and true first question. Who or what would you like to rip a new one?
Wow. I think right now just our political system. And I won't say one way or the other,
No,
but it's just
certainly
yes,
don't have to.
yes. There's just so much going on in the world with politics and everything. Sometimes I'm just like, what are y'all thinking? So, but so that would probably be my answer to that.
Fair enough. Fair
Okay.
enough. I'm with you most days on that one.
Yes.
It's world politics and just in general, it's absolutely crazy. Number two, if you could rip the veil off of any conspiracy theory or mystery out there, which would it be and why?
I told him I was going to have to think about this one, and I'm still thinking. So it's wow, conspiracy theories. There's a lot of them out there. So
It's tough. I don't even know exactly which one, I would pick
yes,
personally. It's tough. I do want, there's this. I watched a podcast about like this. There was like this Russian, group that went out and they went on this like Arctic adventure, and they somehow all died out in like the middle of nowhere in Russia. And just kind of knowing how exactly, like, did somebody turn on them? Did they, like, because a blizzard hit or something, and they all died, but it doesn't look like they died of like a blizzard. It looks like they were like murdered or like killed each other or something. Like,
Right.
how exactly did that happen?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, that's an interesting mystery that I would like to
Right.
know the.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I can't think of one.
Okay.
So I may be your first person that's never answered that question, but so.
Well, that's fine. The mystery of like what mystery is worth,
Yes,
knowing.
right.
What mystery
Yes.
is worth knowing
Yes.
out there. That works for us. So thank you for participating in
Yes.
those ones. Lastly, how can people find or get a hold of you or your business?
Probably the easiest way. I mean, of course, here in Cisco, you can call the funeral home. That number, I guess I can give the number. That's 254-442-1211. Normally, you're going to get Avalon, and she'll get in touch with me because I'm back and forth between here and Baird.
Yeah.
Of course, we have our website. That's Kimbrough-Jacobs.fh.com. There's a lot of information on there for veterans, for service information.
Okay.
A lot of resources on there that people may not be aware of. So it's a good place for them to look if they have questions, and then they can call me if there's anything further, any other questions that aren't answered on there. So
Very nice.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for having us here
Yes.
at Kimbrough-Jacobs Funeral Home. Mr. Jacobs, it's been a wonderful time, and we've really enjoyed our visit here. And those of you listening at home, thank you so much for watching. If you would, just please like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment below. And also feel free to check out our YouTube channel and look at all of our backlog of other RIPS reports, and like and share those videos as well. It really helps us out. And we want to thank our sponsors again. We have Dental Excellence in Eastland, and we have RAM Incorporated here in Cisco celebrating 35 years, and we congratulate them on that accomplishment. And this has been your host, Levi Freeman, bringing you RIPS Report from Eastland County today. Until next time, stay ripped.